The glittering facade of modern celebrity culture often appears entirely impenetrable, wrapped in an exquisite layer of flawless public relations, synchronized social media updates, and carefully staged appearances that project an image of absolute harmony. For years, the public has been captivated by the seemingly unbreakable bonds formed within Hollywood's elite inner circles, where powerful figures unite to create a formidable alliance of talent, influence, and mutual admiration. Among these high-profile connections, few groups have garnered as much intense fascination and widespread media scrutiny as the tight-knit circle surrounding global pop icon Taylor Swift. To the outside world, this exclusive network represented the ultimate pinnacle of modern friendship, an enviable sisterhood built on unwavering loyalty, shared triumphs, and constant support at high-stakes public events. From prestigious award ceremonies to packed sports stadiums, the narrative presented to millions of adoring fans was one of seamless camaraderie, where bonds were forged in the fires of mutual success and guarded fiercely against the relentless intrusion of the global spotlight. It seemed almost impossible that anything could disrupt this carefully curated equilibrium, yet behind the dazzling flashbulbs and the choreographed red carpet smiles, a complex web of interpersonal dynamics was quietly shifting. If you find yourself captivated by the hidden mechanics of Hollywood, or intrigued by the fascinating undercurrents that shape the lives of the world's most influential personalities, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an in-depth analysis of these unfolding stories. The delicate balance of this glamorous universe relies entirely on absolute trust and shared expectations, making the sudden appearance of fractures within the foundation all the more staggering for those who have closely followed these public journeys. For a long time, the public image of this elite circle remained entirely unblemished, characterized by public displays of affection, collaborative creative endeavors, and a pervasive sense of unity that seemed to defy the notoriously fickle nature of show business friendships. However, the true reality of navigating relationships under the intense glare of global fame is rarely as simple or harmonious as a curated social media feed would suggest. Subtle changes began to manifest in ways that only the most observant onlookers noticed at first, shifting the atmosphere from one of collective celebration to a quiet, palpable tension. The intricate architecture of these celebrity alliances is often vulnerable to the very forces that help create them, including competing priorities, intense emotional demands, and the constant pressure of maintaining a flawless public narrative. When the boundaries between personal loyalty and professional ambition begin to blur, the resulting friction can send ripples through an entire community of high-profile individuals, fundamentally altering dynamics that once seemed completely set in stone. This atmosphere of creeping uncertainty serves as the backdrop for a quiet transformation, where long-standing connections are tested by unspoken grievances, shifting alliances, and the heavy emotional burden of living under perpetual public scrutiny. As the initial cracks began to form beneath the surface, the narrative shifted from a celebration of unbreakable unity to a fascinating study in the fragile nature of high-stakes companionship. The public began to sense that something fundamental had shifted within the group dynamics. As the usual displays of public solidarity became noticeably less frequent, and a distinct sense of emotional distance began to characterize interactions that were once defined by effortless warmth. This slow, steady accumulation of hidden tension laid the groundwork for an unprecedented reassessment of loyalty and belonging within one of the most famous social circles in modern popular culture, setting the stage for a series of revelations that would challenge everything the public thought they knew about these glamorous relationships. The evolution of these dynamics reveals a much more intricate and emotionally demanding reality than the polished imagery suggests, highlighting the intense pressures come with maintaining personal connections when every single gesture absence. An interaction is instantly analyzed by millions of people around the world. The underlying atmosphere shifted from one of easy shared joy to a complex exercise in emotional navigation and self-protection. As individual members of this elite group began to quietly reassess where their true loyalties lay and what price they were willing to pay to maintain their positions within the fold. This quiet reevaluation marked the true beginning of a major turning point, creating an undercurrent of suspense that would eventually redefine the public's understanding of these famous figures. The intricate web of relationships, once seen as an ironclad fortress of mutual support, began to resemble a delicate house of cards, highly sensitive to the slightest shift in internal pressure or external perception. The initial signs of distance were subtle, almost imperceptible to the casual observer, but for those who understood the deep history and the high stakes involved, they signaled a profound shift in the emotional landscape of this celebrated sisterhood. As weeks turned into months, the absence of familiar interactions became increasingly difficult to ignore, fueling intense speculation and creating an atmosphere ripe for deeper investigation. The narrative was no longer just about the triumphs of fame and fortune, but about the deeply human complexities of trust, vulnerability, and the difficult choices individuals must make when the demands of a high-profile collective begin to conflict with their personal well-being and sense of self. This unfolding drama, played out against a backdrop of unprecedented global success and immense public adoration, serves as a powerful reminder that even the most glamorous alliances are subject to the universal challenges of human relationship dynamics, where unspoken expectations and changing circumstances can quietly erode the strongest of foundations. The growing distance within the group created a compelling mystery, prompting many to wonder what specific events or realizations could have caused such a significant shift in a bond that had previously seemed so resilient and deeply rooted. As the hidden tensions continued to build, the stage was set for a dramatic redefinition of roles and boundaries, a process that would ultimately force a dramatic confrontation with the realities of friendship in the unforgiving spotlight of modern celebrity culture. The subtle cracks that began to form in the foundation of this elite Hollywood social circle soon deepened into unmistakable fissures, driven by a series of intense personal conflicts and surprising tactical maneuvers behind the scenes. At the center of this burgeoning storm was Blake Lively, the charismatic star whose long-standing position within the inner sanctum gave her immense social leverage. As the month progressed, a complex dynamic emerged involving lively global superstar Taylor Swift and Keleigh Teller, the wife of actor Miles Teller. For years, Keleigh had enjoyed a close, affectionate bond with Swift, a relationship that blossomed in 2014 and intensified significantly by 2023, when Swift began her highly publicized romance with football star Travis Kelce. During this vibrant period, Keleigh was a constant presence by Swift's side, attending star-studded dinners, exclusive birthday celebrations, high-profile awards shows, and numerous games at Kansas City Chiefs stadiums. However, this growing closeness reportedly sparked an intense wave of jealousy and possessiveness in Lively. Insiders close to the situation revealed that Lively felt deeply threatened by the rapidly expanding intimacy between Swift and Keleigh, viewing it as a direct challenge to her own status as the pop star's primary confidant. Driven by a desire to protect her territory, Lively allegedly embarked on a calculated effort to undermine and dismantle the friendship between Swift and Keleigh, attempting to position herself uniquely as the undisputed number one in Swift's social hierarchy. This underlying hostility became increasingly apparent during the high-stakes production of the film It Ends With Us, where Lively found herself embroiled in a bitter legal and professional battle with her director and co-star, Justin Baldoni. Seeking to assert her dominance and intimidate those around her, Lively allegedly boasted to Baldoni that she possessed a formidable network of elite protectors, specifically referring to Swift as her personal dragon who would fiercely protect her and fight her battles. When Keleigh accidentally discovered that Lively was using Swift's immense cultural power as a weapon in a Hollywood workplace dispute, she was deeply unsettled. The idea of referring to a close friend as a mythological beast meant for combat struck Keleigh as bizarre, manipulative, and entirely toxic. The realization that their private circle was being weaponized in such a crass manner caused Keleigh to immediately pull back, refusing to be a part of what she perceived as an unhealthy and exploitative dynamic. This internal recoil was further exacerbated by Lively's general reluctance to welcome new people into the social fold, creating an increasingly restrictive and tense atmosphere for everyone involved. The tension escalated dramatically when Keleigh was forced to drop out of attending a major awards show with Swift due to pressing personal reasons. Instead of receiving comfort or understanding from her superstar friend, Keleigh was reportedly met with a shocking lack of empathy from Swift, leading to a heated and emotionally draining argument between the two women. This harsh response deeply wounded Keleigh, prompting her closest advisors and friends to intervene, urging her to prioritize her own mental health and step away from the volatile relationship. Though they remained in sporadic contact, the warmth had vanished, replaced by a cold, formal distance. Keleigh felt increasingly minimized and devalued, realizing that her loyalty was not being reciprocated in kind by a friend who seemed completely consumed by her own massive orbit. The definitive breaking point, however, arrived with devastating force during the catastrophic 2025 Los Angeles wildfires. As the destructive flames swept through the region, Keleigh and Miles Teller suffered a heartbreaking personal tragedy, losing their family home to the unstoppable blaze. In the wake of this traumatic event, as they struggled to rebuild their lives from the ashes, they waited for a gesture of comfort from Swift. It never came. The total silence from someone Keleigh had considered a core sister was a staggering blow, serving as the final, definitive nail in the coffin of their friendship. While defenders of the pop icon argued that Swift was simply completely exhausted, having wrapped up 2 grueling years of her record-breaking Eras tour and remaining in touch with only a tiny handful of people, the emotional damage was already done. The unspoken rift became glaringly obvious to the public during the 2025 Super Bowl, an event where millions of viewers expected to see Keleigh and Swift cheering together in a luxury suite, as they had done so many times before. Instead, Keleigh and Miles chose to sit entirely apart from the pop star, embedded deeply within a sea of green alongside fellow Philadelphia Eagles fans. Although Miles later attempted to downplay the burning speculation in an interview with People magazine, claiming they were simply passionate fans eager to support their team, the symbolic separation was impossible to ignore. The public display of independence confirmed what many had suspected for months: the once unbreakable alliance had completely shattered under the weight of neglected loyalty, intense jealousy, and the unforgiving pressures of elite celebrity existence, leaving a trail of broken trust and unanswered questions in its wake. The profound breakdown of what was once considered one of Hollywood's most enviable and visible friendships offers a stark, unfiltered look into the high-stakes reality of personal relationships lived entirely in the public eye. As the dust settled following the emotional distance of 2025, the true depth of the estrangement between Keleigh Teller and Taylor Swift became undeniably clear, illustrating how easily the strongest bonds can be dismantled by a combination of miscommunication, external manipulation, and shifting personal priorities. For Keleigh, the journey from entrusted insider to an estranged observer has been a deeply painful and heartbreaking experience. Sources close to the internet personality indicate that despite the immense hurt she experienced during the darkest moments of the fallout, most notably the painful lack of support after losing her home in the devastating Los Angeles wildfires, she still harbors a quiet, lingering hope for an eventual reconciliation. The shared history, the years of mutual support, and the genuine joy they experienced during the height of their companionship are not easily forgotten. However, this hope is firmly balanced by a newfound sense of self-protection and personal dignity. This complex emotional boundary is currently being tested by one of the most anticipated social events in modern popular culture, the upcoming wedding of Swift and football star Travis Kelce, which is officially scheduled to take place on July 3rd at the iconic Madison Square Garden in New York City. The massive event, expected to draw the absolute pinnacle of global talent and celebrity, has become a lightning rod for speculation regarding the current state of Swift's social circle. Reports initially emerged indicating that Keleigh had made the firm, painful decision to refuse to attend the forthcoming nuptials, choosing to completely avoid the high-profile ceremony because she absolutely refused to look like a doormat in front of the global media and the very individuals who had contributed to her exclusion. Yet, the situation took an even more definitive turn when it was exclusively revealed that Keleigh and her husband, Miles Teller, were actually left off the exclusive guest list entirely, receiving no invitation to the historic July wedding. This mutual boundary underscores the absolute finality of the fracture, transforming what was once a vibrant partnership into a cold, permanent separation. When questioned by the media about the upcoming event, Miles Teller attempted to navigate the sensitive topic with grace and diplomacy, telling Parade magazine that he imagined it would be an incredibly impressive wedding and expressing genuine happiness for the couple, noting his own long-standing acquaintance with Kelce. This dignified response, however, could not entirely hide the stark reality that a massive shift had occurred, one that completely severed the daily connection between two families. The timeline of their public decline provides an undeniable record of this quiet collapse. Throughout 2023 and the early months of 24, Keleigh was a radiant, constant fixture in Swift's universe, captured by paparazzi at intimate dinners, joyous birthday celebrations, prestigious awards ceremonies, and packed stadium suites. Yet, a retrospective analysis reveals that the duo's last public sighting together occurred all the way back at the 2024 Super Bowl suite at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, a night defined by historic victory that, in hindsight, marked the absolute peak and final chapter of their shared public journey. Furthermore, Keleigh, who had previously been incredibly active in sharing affectionate photos and behind-the-scenes glimpses of her time with the Grammy winner, has not posted a single photograph featuring Swift since April of 2024. This prolonged social media silence, lasting for well over 2 years, serves as a powerful, undeniable testament to the total freezing of their relationship. The wider implications of this high-profile fallout ripple far beyond the individuals involved, offering a fascinating and cautionary tale about the unique, often unsustainable pressures that define modern celebrity alliances. It reveals how easily a private friendship can become a casualty of wider industry power struggles, as seen through the unsettling involvement of Blake Lively and the weaponization of social influence during professional disputes. When individual identity and personal loyalty are subsumed by the relentless demands of a global brand, the human element of a relationship is frequently the first thing to be sacrificed. The narrative of Keleigh Teller and Taylor Swift is ultimately a story about the difficult search for authenticity within an environment built entirely on public perception and strategic image management. It highlights the profound emotional courage required to step away from a powerful, influential collective in order to safeguard one's own mental health, self-respect, and emotional well-being. As both women move forward along their dramatically different paths, Swift toward a massive, historic marriage under the intense glare of the global media spotlight, and Keleigh toward a quieter process of personal healing and rebuilding alongside her husband, the memory of their vibrant, vanished sisterhood remains a compelling reminder of the fragile nature of trust. The glamorous illusion of absolute Hollywood harmony has once again been shattered, leaving behind a realistic and deeply human story of love, loss, and the high cost of walking away from the ultimate inner circle.